Diosem Chaniavu Kechemalea. I just said greeting in Yoamnoki and asked you if you're still happy. So hi everyone, my name is Christina Acosta. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm gonna read you a few poems today. So thanks for listening. The first one's called I Remember. Water rushes, wind blows, and I'm moved by the sense of your presence. Wind chimes dance and play a breezy melody. I remember. Warm summer days in La Puente with Nana and Tata, that familiar sound. Taring, taring, taring. We're eating cherries on the wooden table in the backyard, placing pits in wooden bowls, a furry family member at our feet. I remember. In the depths of a meditation conducted by fellow faculty, asked to visualize a special place, the guiding voice says it could be a real place I have been, a comforting spot in nature, or an imaginary place, a place in fairy tales. I find myself lying on the earth next to the Yakvatwe, the Yaqui River, and hear the water rushing by. I realize I am hiding, and that this river was drained dry for agriculture less than 100 years ago. I weep for our relatives, our lives, our home. The Vatwa is comforting. I feel I have been there, even though it only flows now during the heavy rains of monsoon summers. And yet it feels like a fairy tale now. Is that what fairy tales are? Realities of paradise on earth destroyed for the search of one in heaven? I weep instead of breathe, I remember. A word not kept by a family member. Save the house for the grandkids. Nana and Tata's dying wish. He sold it for a new boat. The wound went deeper than personal greed. It was a colonial wound, magnified by hundreds of years of displacement and broken promises. I raged before I healed. I forgive. I remember. Booming voices, laughter, and stories. Nana's kitchen in Tucson. She's on the phone with the abuela Terry. Chino and I run outside to hold horned toads. It smells like creosote after the rain, the same smell along the Yakvatwe in my meditation. I remember. Cousin Chino went to Loria when his car crashed. My aunt, Cousin Bella, and her husband go to the site a few days later. We find his Nissan symbol from the car, anime effects, and the scarf he promised to get back to me after we visited last. I find it in the gutter. You remembered. You visited me in a dream a few weeks later. I was in Nana's bed where we used to snuggle and laugh with her. It didn't feel like a dream. There you were, happy, whole, and talking with a laugh in your voice like usual. You're alive, I shouted. Oh my God, Chino, we all thought something had happened to you. Even in dreams, it was too terrible to say out loud. I hugged you tightly and felt you hug me back. Nah, I'm okay, Chris, you said. I cried and squeezed you harder. You're all I've got left after my dad, cuz I need you. You waited for me to get ready and to meet our family members in the living room, as someone I didn't recognize who felt familiar wet the dirt floor. We cleaned together, and then you played with an orange cat on a cot on the wall as I tried to get dressed. The mud kept me slipping and changing into clean clothes. I woke up without making it to the ancestors. They remember. Lightning flashes and horses' feet stomping sacred ground. The sky weeping for the violence it sees. Mother Earth holds my ancestors in the mud as they hide and accepts them into the river. Some of us left and some of us stayed. We remember. Okay, this next one is called We Live. We live in apartments on Tongva land, on reservations in Atam territories, and along our diverted river, Yakvatwe, without access to clean water, to the life that was given freely by Huya Nia. We are Yoeme, the people. Colonial borders of many forms aim to divide us, not only from Yoeme, but from our four-legged, winged, rooted, and other relatives. We live to spite borders. We live with passion, with a rage that we transform into working hands, working to help one another, to tell our stories, to live. They called us stubborn for not giving into the Spanish. Progress to them meant exploiting us, buia, the land. Enslaved and deported our warriors to the Yucatan. We hid in the mountains and kept our ways. We remember Ioania, the old world. Our Pascola dancers dance, sing, and make fun of the ones who thought we were foolish. Mother Earth reminds them with shaking and weeping. We live. Some say we need to get with the times, get a little bit of someone else's land, take someone else's hand, preferably one that's lighter than ours. Forget about the past. Look at how much there is to buy. Your people, your ways were meant to die, but we live. Every time one of us relearns our tongue, speaking words our ancestors recognize, eating foods that strengthen them, that strengthen us, we live. We live, remembering the river, celebrating it in our songs and dances. When we respect the maso, the deer, wonder at their beauty and grace, when they stand and look at us rather than run, and the ancestors who died live in us, with us, through us, stronger together, with the mother who loves us without fear. No fire or brimstone, never alone. Yoeme, live. And this is the last one that I officially submitted. This is Calavera. I wrote it in a workshop on Zoom not long after 2020. I think it was 2021. I am of Yoeme, the people. We live along the Yaqui River. Along came the Pope in the steeple. Our resistance made them shiver. I am Yoeme Ateya, Yaqui fierce person, proud and strong. Learning Yoem Noki playa. Steal our water, but we live on. The ones who stayed to fight are here, to kill that farce of fire and stone. Our mother loves us without fear. Her deepest gifts we'll never own. Okay, this next one kind of started out as a list of native foods. This is one that I didn't officially submit, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. But yes, this is I'm starting off by listing some ancestral foods, and then I kind of go off into a free write. Ground mesquite, tapery beans, chucata, amaranth, blue corn, squash, chiltepines, pitaya, food that knows me, food that my ancestors recognized. Eating these foods now is a privilege. To acquire them, I consider the journey it took to get to my door. There were the colonizers who journeyed thousands of miles of ocean to exploit our land and water relatives. Then there were the 3,000 miles our warriors traveled from Sonora to the Yucatan when they were sold into slavery. There were the decades of loss of plants and animal relatives when the Yaqui River was sucked up by capitalism and our foods were made scarce. And then the hundreds of miles my father moved with Nana and Tata to California in 1963. I ordered them online from Native Seed Search, a food cooperative on the Pascua Yaqui Reservation. My great-grandpa died in Old Pascua. I have yet to go. The blue corn pozole lasts me a week in the fridge. Jaime and I heat and reheat it and eat every last drop. I feel refreshed and strong when I eat my foods. I can face the woman who questions my research. I can face hard truths about others' intentions, their lack of intention, and I cannot take it personally. I can do my best until I know better, and then do better. I do not talk to myself harshly. I hear my ancestors encouragingly speaking in my ear. They tell me it's okay to stumble, to stand tall again and keep walking. They also remind me it's okay to be confident and defy expectations, not to make myself small so others can feel less uncomfortable with the strong, intelligent, and tenacious Native person they see before them. And I look forward to generations of women and femmes and people who come after me and recognize my responsibility to them and to myself, to love me with everything I have and to love them in the process, following the path of food relatives, resilient, relentless, with intention. Okay, and this is the last one I'll share. This one is also unofficially submitted, but it's just my name, Christina. Chuksan sky, pink above the mountains, sandy desert beneath my tennies. My heart looks up and I pause. Chino is calling me in the distance. His voice is quieted by my reverie. I do not want to move. Lizards and frogs scurry freely as the ground cools. Cousin finds me, wondering at the place we emerged from, the place we will return. Thank you.